One question that I get a lot is, how do we assess what happens in breakout rooms? It can be difficult to pop into student groups and assess what's being discussed in those groups because students start to feel a little like they're being hyper watched. So there are some other ways that we can figure out what's going on in those breakout groups without having to continually pop in and visit. Although I would say the pop in does help for us to ascertain the kinds of questions folks are asking one another and the flow of conversation and whether or not people are talking about the topic in the kind of depth that you're hoping for. But one thing that I like to do right up front is set clear expectations for outcomes for that breakout time. Have students write to something like a shared Google Doc or to a Google Jamboard so that you can monitor the discussion as it's occurring in real time when they're in the breakout groups, and have specific outcomes or specific questions that you would like them to report back on.
So Kat mentions Jamboard, which is really easy to use, and let me just go through how you might use it to keep track of your breakout rooms. You can get there by going to jamboard.google.com. It's part of the Google G Suite that we have as part of William & Mary. And I'm just going to go to jamboard.google.com and I'll look at my Jamboards here. And down at the bottom right, you'll see I can start a new jam with that plus. So I'll click on the plus, and that'll open up a new jam. And I can name the jam, so I might call that Breakout Room 1. And I'd need to create a breakout room jam for each of my breakout rooms just to make it easier. And I'll say OK. And now I'd pose my question. So I can go to the text box here and click on the text box, and I'll say, how do you define the problem? And that's the question that I want everyone to respond to. And I can go ahead and just share that. So I'd click on share. And I can make that link available to anyone at William & Mary by changing the link to William & Mary. I would need to make them editor. And if I wanted to be really safe, if I wanted to make sure that students could access it and not be logged into William & Mary, I would just pull down and I'd say anyone with the link. And I would make sure that they're editor, and I would say done. I could copy that link before I hit done just to make it even easier for myself. So I'll hit copy link and I'll hit done. And I can actually go ahead and send that link to the students in the chat. So then they can go in and start working on this problem. And it's a very simple interface. All they need to do is they can do a text box just like you did. Or one of the nice things is they can add sticky notes. So I'll click on a sticky note and they can say, the problem is X, and they can change the color, they can hit save, and now they've got this sticky note right there, and they can move it around so they can sort it out, and each of the students can add to the sticky notes, and they can create other sticky notes. They can add images if they'd like. They can use the pen tool if they would like. So it's a really easy way for them to collaborate, and so that you can actually keep track of what they're doing in the breakout rooms.
I also like to assign roles so that there is a clear delineation of what the expectation is for individuals within the group. So there may be a timekeeper, there may be a reporter, there may be a leader. So that reporter is going to be responsible for sharing back to the group when you come back to the whole group about what the team discussed in the breakout room. You can also have students kind of self-assess how the breakout time is working, if they are having meaningful, rich conversation, and if not, what they think might help to facilitate that so that that time is really being used to deepen their understanding of the content.